Good morning, John Augustin, back again. Now, 2009, the year 2009 in Ireland. Some of the things that occurred. The 27th of the 9th, 27th of September 2009, swine flu. This thing is rearing its ugly head. Confirmed in Irish pigs. This is the one that came from Mexico. Which is no reason to be bringing that kind of stuff into the EU. Quite, at the end of the day, they don't do what they should be doing. It's supposed to be the EU, and if we can't produce something, well, then we get something from somewhere else, taking precautions that everything is satisfactory. The people in the EU had a right to go to Mexico to see what way they were doing things. Mexico speaks, I think, Spanish, which would be from Spain, so they would have influence. I don't think we'd have that type of influence. So, questions should have been asked about that, because it left a lot of, it interfered with exports, which we depend on, especially in the food line, a great reputation. When they're bringing stuff from countries, they bring some beef from Brazil, and that caused problems. They should check what's the way they do things in those countries, and not just go and announce it, because they'll be taken to places where everything's done right, but they want to sort of know what's going on. And of course, Brazil is part of Portugal, another sort of one that's conquered other countries, and Spain as well. We didn't conquer anything. We sent missioners to try and plant the seed of defeat. So the 2nd of October, the second referendum, and they didn't accept the first one when it was defeated by the people. Now, see the sort of old lack of the democracy here. Frightened the people. The second Treaty of Lisbon held and passed. Well, we didn't vote. I didn't vote for it. I don't want to think the EU is bad news myself. The 11th of October, a priest from Barntown in County Wexford, which is 3 miles from Wexford. There's a Pugan church there, and I will be visiting it tomorrow, because they say the station is across there. It's a lovely church in Barntown. It's on the New Ross. Father Michael Sinnott, a priest from there, was abducted in the Philippines and held until the 11th of November and arrived back on the 3rd of December 2009. So it was nearly a month or more. It was October. It was a month away. And that can't have been a good experience. Muslims probably, they're the ones that are persecuting Catholics and Christians, wherever they're knocking about, sort of quite evil, some of them. Not them all, of course, because that wouldn't do. Yeah. And on the 12th of October, 2, and it says airline pilots, but they were Air Corps pilots on a training mission in Connemara were killed. And I happen to know one of them because I used to stay with their grandfather in Wexford. Mr. and Mrs. Jebbins. Captain Jebbins, he was a captain in the army, retired of course, but his nephew, Donald, this son David, when he had a birthday at 16, I remember, all he wanted was a trip in a helicopter. So he had an interest in that, and he was a cadet and very with great future ahead of him because he was very dedicated. And then there was a crash. The trainer was with her. The trainer was a man that was not much older, and it crashed in a mountain. And at the time, the Minister for Defence was Alan Shatter, and they made out that it was David Jebbins that was driving the jet. But the father would have got some information from the Air Corps trainees that it was the trainer that was piloting the plane, and David Jebbins shouted at him because it came in the box to go up. Now, whatever was wrong with that trainer, was he disturbed in some way? These things happen. Wasn't there a pilot locked the captain out of a subsidiary of Lufthansa and crashed into a mountain on purpose and killed all the passengers because the door was locked, and so they had to have some arrangement subsequent. That happened. So I'm not saying that this happened here, but David Jebbins shouted, and he was the one, according to the Minister for Defence, Alan Shatter, and some other one, some chief. Yeah, but it transpired when he lost his position and a new Minister of Defence, he put the truth right, and David's father, Donald, had spent a lot of money fighting this and mortgaged his place and all the rest of it, but he was rewarded with compensation. And I think David's brother now joined the Air Corps, which is good, and he's quite successful, and he's probably a pilot now somewhere else. This was in 2009, not that long ago, I suppose. So that's the story about that, and sometimes you don't get that, but I happen to know the story about that, the ins and outs of it. So that's it. We'll leave it at that and contemplate what we've just heard. Bye now. Have a good day. Enjoy the bit of sun if it doesn't disappear on us. Just had it disappearing at the minute. Mum's the word. I hope it puts the snoot out again. Give us a bit of comfort without the rain, you know yourself. Bye now.